The desert, a desolate wasteland where life struggles to survive and the sands stretch endlessly. A place of unforgiving beauty, where the sun's rays paint a picture of stark contrasts. A place of unimaginable horror, where shadows grow long, and the night brings an eerie silence. It stretches out before us, endless and unforgiving, a silent testament to the power of nature. The horizon seems to mock our insignificance. The sun beats down relentlessly, baking the sand and driving men mad. Its heat is an unyielding force, a constant reminder of our fragility. But it is in the shadows, in the whispers of the wind, that true evil lurks. These whispers carry tales of ancient curses and forgotten sins. These are the tales of those who have dared to venture into the devil's playground, seeking fortune or redemption. Those who have stared into the abyss and found it staring back, their souls forever marked by what they have seen. Those who have heard the whispers on the wind and felt the touch of something unholy. The desert holds secrets, ancient and dark secrets that whisper on the wind, carried on the backs of ancient malevolent spirits that have roamed these sands for centuries. They tell tales of lost souls, driven mad by the scorching sun and haunted by their past sins. These souls wander, never finding peace. The desert does not forget, and it does not forgive. It remembers every step, every cry for mercy. These stories are not for the faint of heart. They are warnings, etched in the sands by those who came before. They are a warning, a beacon in the darkness to those who would dare to challenge the desert's wrath, a reminder of the dangers that lie ahead. Heed them well, for they speak of a terror that lies dormant beneath the sands, waiting to claim its next victim. The desert is alive and it is watching. Jedediah, a grizzled prospector with eyes hardened by years of sun and sorrow, stumbled through the unforgiving heat. The desert had been his home for decades, but today it felt more hostile than ever. He clutched a tattered map, his lifeline in the sea of sand. The map was old, passed down through generations, promising untold riches. His throat was parched, his lips cracked and bleeding. Each step felt like a battle against the elements. The desert was claiming him inch by inch. Days blurred into nights, and the relentless sun showed no mercy. Just as his hope dwindled, a glint of gold caught his eye. It was a sight that rekindled a spark of hope within him. A single glowing stone lay nestled at the base of a weathered dune. Its light was mesmerizing, almost otherworldly. As he reached for it, a voice, smooth as silk and cold as ice, sliced through the silence. It was a voice that sent shivers down his spine. "Looking for this, old timer?" Jedediah looked up, his heart pounding in his chest. A figure materialized from the shimmering heat haze. It was as if the desert itself had conjured this being. Tall, with eyes like burning coals, it stood before him, radiating an aura of power and malice. The air around it seemed to crackle with energy. The figure chuckled, a sound devoid of humor, and Jedediah felt a chill grip his heart. He knew this encounter would change his fate forever. The caravan, laden with silks and spices, snaked its way across the dunes. Merchants joked and laughed, their voices a brief respite from the desert silence. They were led by Kaylin, a woman known for her fierce spirit and unwavering sense of direction. As night fell, a strange wind swept across the dunes, whipping the sand into a frenzy. The camels grew restless, their snorts laced with fear. The laughter died down, replaced by a palpable unease. "Lost your way, have you?" a voice whispered through the howling wind. Kaylin scanned the swirling sand, her hand instinctively reaching for the curved dagger at her hip. There, perched atop a towering dune, stood a figure cloaked in shadows. The wind seemed to emanate from it, carrying with it whispers of promises and despair. Jedediah's hand trembled. He knew the stories, the whispers that plagued desert travelers. Tales of a being who haunted these dunes, offering salvation with one hand and stealing souls with the other. Who are you? Jedediah's voice was a dry croak, barely audible above the wind's mournful song. The figure grinned, revealing teeth filed to sharp points. They call me many things, old man, but you can call me your salvation. It extended a hand, the glowing stone pulsing in its grasp. Fear warred with desperation in Jedediah's gut. He needed that stone, needed it to escape this desolate wasteland, but at what cost? The artist and the mirage. Amara, an artist seeking inspiration, wandered the desert, her easel strapped to her back. The vast emptiness around her was both daunting and exhilarating, a blank canvas waiting to be filled. She chased the elusive beauty of the shifting sands, her canvas a testament to the desert's ephemeral magic. Each stroke of her brush captured the transient moments of the desert, moments that seemed to vanish as quickly as they appeared. Days turned into weeks as she roamed, captivated by the desolate landscape. The sun's relentless journey across the sky marked the passage of time, yet Amara felt as if she were in a timeless realm. Then, on the horizon, a shimmering lake appeared. It was a sight so surreal that she questioned her own senses, wondering if it was merely a mirage. Palm trees swayed, promising shade and respite from the relentless sun. The oasis seemed like a dream, a sanctuary in the midst of the harsh desert. Driven by thirst and the hope of capturing the scene's ethereal beauty, Amara stumbled toward it. Her heart raced with anticipation, each step bringing her closer to what she hoped was salvation. Such talent, a voice whispered, seemingly from the shimmering water itself, would be a shame to waste. The words echoed in her mind, blending with the sound of the wind. The voice was soft, yet it sent shivers down Amara's spine. She felt a chill despite the scorching heat, an unsettling sensation that made her pause. She paused, her gaze drawn to the reflection in the water. The surface shimmered, distorting the images and creating an almost hypnotic effect. A figure, tall and gaunt, stood behind her, its form distorted by the ripples. The sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying, a haunting presence in the midst of her solitude. The abandoned oasis, Kaelin drew her scimitar, its polished surface glinting under the moonless sky. "Show yourself, spirit," she commanded, her voice ringing out with surprising strength. The figure atop the dune threw back its head and let out a chilling laugh that echoed across the desolate landscape. The wind intensified, tearing at their clothes and whipping sand against their exposed skin. "You have something that belongs to me," the voice hissed, its tone laced with venom. "A trinket, a toy." Kaelin's eyes narrowed. She knew of the desert spirits and their insatiable hunger for possessions, for souls. But she would not yield her people, her responsibility to some phantom of the dunes. Whispers in the night, Jedediah reached out, his fingers brushing against the cold, smooth surface of the stone. The figure's smile widened, revealing an unsettling expanse of gums. "Take it, Jedediah, it is yours. All I ask for is a trifle, a mere whisper of your soul." Jedediah hesitated, the weight of the offer pressing down on him. He was so close to salvation, to escaping the clutches of the desert. But something in the figure's eyes, a glint of malicious glee, gave him pause. The wind howled around them, carrying with it the whispered promises of the desert, promises of wealth, of power, of escape. But beneath those promises, Jedediah could hear another sound, a faint mournful wail, like the cries of countless souls lost to the sands. The curse of the desert. Amara backed away from the lake, her heart pounding against her ribs. The figure in the reflection moved too, its movements mirroring her own. It reached out, its long, skeletal fingers scraping against the surface of the water. "Don't be afraid," voice whispered, its tone laced with a chilling tenderness. "Let me help you capture its beauty, your talent. It deserves to be recognized." Amara stumbled, her foot catching on a loose rock. As she fell, she saw the figure lunge forward, its form breaking free from the confines of the mirage. The desert swirled around her, the screams dying on her lips as the sand swallowed her whole. A final warning: the desert, a place of whispers and shadows, of beauty and terror. It is a place where the veil between worlds wears thin, where the devil himself walks among us, tempting weary souls with promises of salvation. Many have ventured into its depths, seeking fortune, fame, or simply a way out. But the desert is a jealous mistress. She demands a heavy toll for passage through her domain. Many who enter her embrace are never seen again, their stories lost to the wind and sand. Heed these tales, for they are a warning. Beware the whispers on the wind, the mirages that dance on the horizon, and never, ever trust the promises of the desert, for in this desolate wasteland, the devil is always listening, always watching, waiting for his next victim. Soon,